We always think the future of transportation is going to come from some sci-fi movie. But what if the real blueprint was hiding in plain sight, like inside a boring corporate document? Well, today that's exactly what we're going to do. We're diving into the 2024-2025 annual report for a company called Aeropace. And let me tell you, their vision for flying cars is absolutely breathtaking. Now listen to this quote. "Mark my words, a combination of airplane and motor car is coming. You may smile, but it will come." Nope, that's not from a movie script. That is printed right inside the official document we're about to explore. Talk about setting the stage for some serious ambition. So we're going to go deep, really deep, inside this one single document to figure out what's really going on at Aerospace. We're going to peel back all the layers. The big vision, sure, but also the people behind it, and of course, the numbers.
All right, so first up, let's talk about that grand vision. This is the story Airpace is telling the world, and honestly, it's nothing short of revolutionary.
The report kicks things off by tackling a huge, and I mean huge, real-world problem: India's urban mobility crisis. We're talking about crushing traffic, pollution, accidents, the whole deal. The document basically says, look, for 1.4 billion people, the way we all get around is just broken. And that right there is the massive challenge Airpace claims it's here to solve.
And how are they going to solve it? With this, the Airpace ecosystem. It's kind of like a four-part puzzle. You've got the air wing, that's the actual flying vehicle. Then the air car, a special electric vehicle on the ground that actually docks with the wing. Then you need a place for them to operate, so you have the air dock. Think of them as futuristic stations. And the glue holding it all together? The Airverse. That's the software, the brains of the whole operation. It's a massive, truly integrated vision.
And the promise here is just immense. We're talking about autonomous flying using clean hydrogen fuel, super advanced safety systems, and a plan to serve just about every transportation need you can imagine. From private flying cars they call AirDrive and public air taxis, all the way to air care for medical emergencies, and even air cargo for delivering things like fresh food. They're really trying to cover all the bases.
So you gotta ask, right? Who are the people trying to pull off this incredible feat? Well, the report gives us a really fascinating look at the team.
The man leading the charge is the managing director, Mr. Milan Bhupendra Shah. His background is all tech, over 20 decades in software and networking. And that makes perfect sense when you remember the Airverse, right? You need a serious tech person at the helm to build the complex software for this whole thing.
And then you're flipping through the report and you find this amazing little detail. One of the non-executive directors, a Mr. Sanjay Ram Takale, isn't a tech mogul or a financier. He's a champion rally driver. He was the first Indian to finish the Dakar Rally, which is just the toughest race on Earth. It's such an unexpected and, frankly, cool detail to find in a corporate document.
The report also gives us this small window into the company's pay structure. This table shows the ratio of what the directors earn compared to the median employee. The managing director, Mr. Shah, earns about 1.7 times the median. But our rally driving director, Mr. Takale, his ratio is way down at 0.13 to 1. It's just one data point, but an interesting one.
Okay, so we have an incredible vision, and we've met the people, including a champion rally driver. But a vision this big needs funding. A lot of it. So let's turn to the hard financial numbers. And this, my friends, is where the story takes a pretty dramatic turn.
Let's start with the money coming in. For the fiscal year, the company's revenue from operations was 59.44 lakh rupees. For reference, 1 lakh is 100,000 rupees. So we're talking just under 6 million rupees, okay? Keep that number in your head.
Because in that same period, their total expenses, the money they spent, was 811.06 lakh rupees. Yeah, you can see the massive gap there immediately. And the result of that imbalance? Well, for the year, the company posted a consolidated loss of 739.43 lakh rupees. Building the future, it seems, is an incredibly expensive business.
And hey, don't just take our word for it. This is a direct quote from the official auditor's report, and they specifically flagged the cash burn. And notice how the cash loss is more than tripled from the year before. This adds a pretty serious layer of official scrutiny to the numbers.
So beyond the main financials, the report has other important signals hidden inside.
This is all about reading between the lines, looking at big corporate changes and what the watchdogs, the auditors, had to say.
And the report reveals a year of major flux. Check this out. In May, a new director comes on board. Just 1 month later, an executive director leaves. And then, here's the big one. In November, the company's statutory auditors resigned. That's a whole lot of turmoil in key positions in a very short amount of time.
Okay, quick timeout. Before the next slide, we need to know this term, key audit matter. It's basically corporate jargon for when an auditor raises their hand and says, whoa, hold on, this particular thing is really significant, it's super complex, and it relies a lot on the company's own judgment. Think of it as them putting a big spotlight on one specific area. And here it is, the key audit matter for aerospace. The auditor is flagging how the company values its internally generated intangible assets. In plain English, that's their intellectual property, the designs for the air wing, the code for the airverse, all their secret sauce. The auditor is basically saying that figuring out what all this futuristic tech is worth right now is very, very tricky and subjective.
And one more little detail tucked away in the governance section. The company got hit with a penalty from the stock exchange for being late with a financial statement. It's another small piece of the puzzle that tells you a little bit about their operational track record.
So, what does this all mean when you put it all together? How do you weigh this incredible, futuristic vision against these really sobering financial numbers and all these questions about what's going on behind the scenes? And this is the core tension of the entire report. It's a massive tug of war. On one side, the opportunities are just astronomical. I mean, solving a country's transportation crisis is world-changing stuff. But on the other side, the risks are immense. And they say so themselves in the report. They're exposed to economic shifts, they're totally reliant on complex, unproven technology, and actually executing this vision is a monumental challenge.
And this all leads to the final, crucial quote from the auditors. It is a masterclass in careful corporate language. They say they don't see any material uncertainty right now, but, and it's a huge but, future events or conditions may cause the company to cease to continue as a going concern. In plain English, that means it could go out of business. So it's like getting a green light, but with a very, very serious warning attached.
So in the end, we're left with this single document that tells two very different stories. One is of a bold, revolutionary vision to change the world. The other is a story of financial losses and serious operational challenges. So the question this report leaves us with is simple, but it's profound. Which story is going to win out? Is this the blueprint for a transportation revolution, or is it a flight of fancy? The answer, it seems, is still very much up in the air.